All right, fanatics, welcome to Flow with the Markets Wednesday. It is the 17th of July. Wednesday, let's have a look how the market is developing so far after the weekly outlook and setups on Saturday. So, let me first of all take you to the economic calendar. Now, pretty much on Monday, we did consolidate a little bit. There was some sort of a manipulation. And then on Tuesday, we made the weekly high and the weekly low, respectively. And then during retail sales, right here, the market just rocketed. Now, today, usually when the market has set out the weekly high and low, usually Wednesday then is going to continue. So today we're having a continuation. And then tomorrow is going to be very 50-50 because we're going to be having GBP news, Aussie news, Euro interest rate decision. And of course, we have USD news here, unemployment claims. So tomorrow could either be a continuation or it could be a reversal, but it will very likely be volatile because we're having a lot of news. And then on Fridays are usually 50-50. Sometimes they really suck, they don't do much, but sometimes it's actually Friday that makes the whole weekly move. So as we said early on Saturday, then I'm getting these alerts. This week is pretty much very nicely clear. We don't have to worry about anything. Pretty much the news that we have are pretty good. So let's have a look at the state of the market. So the weekly candle on the DXY right now is pretty much piercing through our draws on liquidity. So this is where I was thinking that the market is going to go, and right now we're pretty much taking them out. Now, of course, if I just quickly show you what I was expecting pretty much on the market open, again, you know, with Monday's trading, it usually doesn't go as we plan. This is why I usually don't like analyzing on Saturday. I always actually end up Monday playing out and then I jump in the market, so I can allow time for that Monday manipulation to happen. But as you can see, we actually did pull back into that volatile zone. We tried to push lower. We actually did end up taking out that low, and then we reversed to set out that weekly high. And right now we're just rallying down very nicely. So as we are right now taking this weekly liquidity, and this weekly liquidity, usually when such a massive liquidity gets taken, I usually expect some sort of a rebalance either on the same time frame or potentially like one time frame lower. We are taking weekly liquidity, so I would be expecting either a weekly rebalance, which again, it's all the way up here right now, that is going to close this week, or a daily rebalance, which we don't have yet because today is the day at which the market is right now expanding. So is it high probability to be trading today? Well, not a lot, because again, the market is taking those weekly liquidity points. It was a little bit choppy here, and then right now, pretty much in London session, the market just rocketed lower. All right. So right now, of course, trying to chase 1 hourly zones like this, I personally think it's low probability because again, be aware what we're actually taking right now. We have taken all that massive liquidity, so this to me decreases the probability of the market continuing further to go lower. So my plan going forward right now is, because I also had a winning trade yesterday, I am right now allowing for the market to develop a little bit. So potentially wait for this candle to close, then maybe even wait for tomorrow to close to see if we're going to be having a daily bearish imbalance. And then maybe on Friday there could be a quick trade. What I also want to see is how the market is going to actually close on the weekly time frame below these liquidity points. If it closes very strongly like this, with a very nice body candle closure, then very likely I'm going to continue looking for shorts, but that's already into next week. So keeping it short and simple, I am not looking for trades today on the DXY because it's already done the move. It's already pushed a lot, so I don't expect for it to continue with this. And then of course we jump onto EU. It had this fall bullish imbalance, it gapped down, then it pushed up and fulfilled the target, which was very nice. It took out that target, but it was also very strange because the DXY did not reach it, while EU did reach it, right? And then pretty much we had this pullback yesterday, right? And I was actually looking to short it, but the market was really choppy right here. It was really choppy. It didn't actually give a setup. Then retail sales actually made the fake move lower to grab all the liquidity to set up the weekly low, and then we started expanding higher. And pretty much it was today where I had a couple of members taking this long from this 4 hourly bullish imbalance. The market tapped it in, and then if you jump on the 50-minute time frame, we took out the Asian low very nicely. Okay, I don't actually have my Asian low. Let's maybe try to plot it in. There is the Asian low. This is actually the wrong time. Yeah, it's probably the wrong time of the Asian session. took out the Asian low, 50-minute bullish imbalance, but we also had it on the 5-minute trend changes as well with an imbalance. So that was a lovely trade today. I personally didn't take it once again. Why? Because I was immediately comparing it to the DXY. That was already taking these liquidity points. And usually, again, I like to trade towards liquidity points. And when a liquidity point like that gets taken, I usually look to step aside. So right now, as we're taking on EU, right now, we're pretty much taking this daily high. So that's a daily high. And to the left, we're very likely headed towards that daily high, which we also just took out. All right, so once again, we are taking a lot of daily liquidity, which means that we will very likely want to rebalance something on the daily. Today, we're having an expansion candle. Tomorrow could consolidate. And then maybe on Friday, if we do have a bullish daily imbalance, we can potentially go higher from that. Okay. Or something on the 40 time frame. Right now, we are building it. So in 2 hours and 17 minutes, we are potentially going to have a 4-hourly bullish imbalance. But once again, knowing what kind of liquidity the market has taken, I usually want to pretty much wait for a rebalance on that same time frame. So right now, trading even on the 40 time frame, after the market has already done that move, it becomes a little bit low probability. But if I am to take a trade, looking for a 4-hourly bullish imbalance here to form, and then looking for my entry models to potentially continue following it higher. But right now, again, taking a lot of liquidity, so I would much prefer to wait for today to close and then see how tomorrow is going to go, because tomorrow it could also keep running. But today, the daily move is already done. So if you're trying to keep longing right now, you are expecting a little too much from the market. So today for me on your USD, if you didn't take that long here, it is so far a skip. GBP USD, we had, of course, a weekly bullish imbalance, we had a daily bullish imbalance, then we had 4-hourly bullish imbalances. So then I told you, all right, let's see which one is actually going to hold. Now, we did tap the first one, tried to push, then we pulled back into this guy, which is what essentially actually caused the market to react together with this overall sell to buy, right? The market tapped. It also printed this very lovely 4-hourly bullish imbalance. But of course, today we also had, I think, GBP CPI. Let me just quickly check out. Yeah, so today we had GBP CPI, and that was, of course, a very big cause for this very nice move higher. So overall bias spot on. We are definitely going bullish. Now, where are we going bullish towards? Towards that high. Now, are we just going to straight run towards that high? That is the big question, okay? So we are potentially right now forming a weekly bullish imbalance. That is going to be very nice for next week. But again, the question for this week is, does it make a lot of sense for the market to continue moving higher? Well, there we actually had a daily bullish imbalance that formed on Tuesday. Again, this is probably something that I mentioned in the weekly outlook. I would like to see how Monday is going to come out. We had a daily imbalance, Tuesday tapped, and today expands. So I want to see how the market is going to close above this daily zone, okay? And then tomorrow is going to be very key. If you look to the left here, there is, for example, this very tiny imbalance that could potentially cause the market to stop for a little bit, all right? And you can see we are just coming close to it. Maybe on another broker it's already tapped. So tomorrow is going to be very 50-50 because it's going to be the third candle of a potential imbalance. So I would much prefer for that imbalance to form after tomorrow, right? And then potentially to trade it on Friday or even next week already. So currently, as this massive move has happened, you are of course going to get offered with a potential 4-hourly bullish imbalance to trade from. That is of course something that you can consider. But personally, if you of course ask me, or pretty much I'm sharing how I would tackle the market right now, I would personally wait. Because to me, weekly low, right now pushing very strongly, looks like a weekly high. And just continuing like this on the 4-hourly time frame, as after we're also tapping into daily zones to the left, looks a little bit low probability to me. Okay, so that's GBP USD. Definitely bullish. Two potential scenarios to go long from: 4-hourly bullish imbalance that could form in 2 hours, or wait for this daily candle to close and then evaluate tomorrow whether tomorrow can continue pushing higher, right? Or is it going to make a consolidation to then potentially on Friday tap into the daily zone and then potentially give you a long. But still, long bias on GU as well. Aussie dollar, lovely delivery. So this is the trade that I took this week. So we had this weekly bullish imbalance together with this overall sell to buy, which is where the market, which is where I expected the market to potentially pull back to. on the daily time frame, we had this daily bullish imbalance, but if you look at this candle here, it didn't really show any signs that it wants to respect it. Now, of course, I had this situation at which we're having that forward bullish imbalance for the market to tap and just go. But yeah, on Monday, the market just opened and it just blasted through that imbalance and it printed a bearish one. So again, you can see immediately on market open, the bias is automatically changing. This is why you have to always keep an open mind and not really marry your setups even from the weekend. The market tapped this volatile zone and started following through, creating new volatile bearish imbalances. Then it actually tapped into this daily and it just gave a reaction and then broke the reaction. And then as the market was actually guiding us to the downside, you can see volatile bearish imbalances being created. The daily time frame did not really push price higher. Then to me, it was just evident that the market was traveling towards that weekly bullish imbalance. All right. So what I ended up doing is, of course, when the market tapped inside this volatile zone, there was our entry model. So the trades that I took, I even waited for a lot of confirmation on that one because we had retail sales and I really wanted to ensure that the market is going to develop. Here's my trade, stop loss above and targeting that drawn liquidity for almost 3R. All right. So that's my trade for this week so far. Again, you can see I called longs at first, but then I took a short. So again, every single day I show up according to what the market is showing me. This is what I'm going to potentially execute. Right now, we are very nicely reacting from that weekly bullish imbalance. If you also have a look, we invalidated a new daily bearish, which is a very good bullish sign as well. I was looking right now for a 4-hourly bullish imbalance, but you can also see that just right now we are invalidating also a 4-hourly bullish imbalance. So it's starting to get a little bit 50-50, I would say. On the 1-hourly time frame, it is not bad. I had a member taking a long trade here, which was okay because here we have that 1-hourly bullish imbalance starting to kick in, creating another one, right? And you can start seeing how that order flow starts to pile up, bullish, and then currently continuing higher, also getting another bullish. So if I'm looking at AU right now, I would personally not trade it today because to me, this overall price action looks a little bit like a correction. So can the market continue pushing lower and come back to take out this low again? It is very likely, right? Very likely. But personally, how I would approach AU is if this pair is going to go bullish from that weekly zone, then we're going to be targeting that high. So I will just simply wait for the market to show me that order flow. And if I take a trade all the way up here, that is going to be the highest probability trade that you can take. Why? Because at that point, you perfectly know that the market is potentially reaching for that high, which is exactly what I also did with that trade. The market was just guiding me lower, perfectly showing me that this is where it's going. Like there is nowhere else it could go. So then you take an easy trade, TP in one candle. Meanwhile, if you try to take a long right now, you're literally trying to catch the bottom without order flow even being established. Okay, so I would personally just wait on AU. I go on the sidelines. I took my trade right now. I am on the sidelines waiting once again for that one proper setup, and pretty much the one proper setup, maybe it's done this week, maybe another one is not going to get presented. But in the meantime, I am observing right now how the market reacts from this 1-hourly zone, if it's gonna actually start respecting it and pushing higher. There is one area that we can potentially cause a reaction from. It is this 4-hourly imbalance that is not retested, so the market can tap in, take out the reaction, and then if you break the reaction, to me, like the trade from here is going to be the highest probability trade because then the market is going to have an easy time running towards that high. Okay, so right now on the sidelines, patiently waiting to see whether buyers will come in. We're having some Aussie news tomorrow. So again, guys, stay patient. NZUSD, I'm not a fan of this one. Like, we had this very tiny bullish imbalance, but the market just opened and it gave two shorts, right? So this is why, once again, you just gotta flow. There's a fairly bearish imbalance, nothing to stop price all the way down here. And then the second drawn liquidity was pretty much that failed reaction from that weekly bullish imbalance that really failed to cause the market to reverse. So as we have taken this one right now, again, like fairly bearish imbalance, then we printed that one, very similar to the Aussie trade that I took out that liquidity. And right now we printed a very nice 4-hourly bullish all right? To the left, we had this hourly bearish that was already taken and we broke the reaction. So the next drawn liquidity to me right now is this guy. Right now, we are in a creation of a new 4-hourly bullish imbalance, which is good. And we're reacting from this candle right now, which is an OB, a very nice base candle with a very nice drop with an imbalance. All right, we're reacting from this guy right now. So if in 2 hours and 7 minutes, this bullish imbalance still remains, I believe that this here could be not a bad setup. Right now, you have this 1 hour imbalance to also work with. You can see that order flow here looks a little bit more clearly established than the one on AU. AU is a little bit trying hard like a snail. This one is a little bit more impulsive. So if you're actually looking to choose between AU and NU, I would personally pick NU. And this is my setup right now with a very low hanging fruit, this high. Let's see. Gold just rocketed all-time highs on gold again. 4-hourly imbalance, taps in, and since there, it just ran. It didn't even pull back to the daily, right? So it was either the 4H or the daily. In this case, you can see, unlike AU or NU, the market tapped in, rejected, and just started showing us signs of continuation. I have one member who is absolutely crushing gold. Gold is his favorite pair. But overall, again, taps in here, 1 hourly bullish trade, 1 hourly bullish trade here, and 1 hourly bullish trades here. It was very nice trades this week on gold. Personally, I don't yet trade gold. I kind of have a limitation. I don't know why. It's too fast for me. I don't know, maybe I'm scared. Who knows? But yes, right now we are taking all-time highs. So it doesn't really matter what happened. How do we tackle this right now? Well, we are taking a monthly high, a monthly swing high, weekly swing high, daily swing high. So when the monthly swing high is taken, usually you would like to see a rebalance on the monthly, right, or on the weekly. So right now we're not having anything on the monthly time frame, right? So we're likely gonna have something on the weekly, but on the weekly time frame we're just expanding right now. On the weekly, of course, we have all the way down here, but I don't really think the market is gonna pull back all the way down. So in a case like this, we can of course consult the daily. But something that I'm going to be looking for is minimum on the daily. So right now you can see today we're taking all-time highs and the market is in a candle 3 of a potential imbalance. So my plan for gold right now is to wait for today to pass, wait for this candle to close, and then tomorrow look for the market to tap into this daily imbalance and give me a continuation and target the previous daily high. All right? Very simple setup. That's all I can say about it. That is a setup that I would definitely love to take. Daily imbalance, targeting previous daily high. That is usually a very good setup. Tomorrow we also have a lot of news to potentially support this idea. So let's see what's going on. Right now, of course, if we try to jump in from 4-hourly imbalances, right, you're very likely going to lose. Why? Because once again, we're taking monthly, weekly, and daily liquidity. A 4-hourly and a 1-hourly rebalance or zone is not going to do the job. You need to wait for something bigger because right now the big boys are going to offload some orders because they've reached all-time highs. Little pullback will be created and then potentially if they're going to add up again, we're going to see about that. That's gold. USD continuing to flush. I had a comment that said like this is just a short-term drop. Well, I did. So I had first this 4-hourly zone. The market actually reacted from that and fulfilled the overall target low here. And then yeah, it still pulled back. It didn't pull back all the way up to the imbalance. It just stopped. And then of course with retail sales, retail sales was on Tuesday. And then today actually, on Wednesday, it just started dropping. Like to me, UJ is kind of random. I don't know. Weekly time frame right now is about to create a weekly bearish imbalance. We're getting a lot of bearish signs. And if the market is going to persist, then I would say that this could be our drawn liquidity, and just above it we're having that daily high, daily low. So that is the most recent one. What we're doing currently is we're expanding. So once again, tomorrow it could open and fulfill that target, which is what I think could potentially happen. But is it tradable today? Could be. We're having a massive expansion going lower. In 2 hours you are gonna have a 4-hourly bearish imbalance potentially. Okay, so if you do get a setup from that, I think it could be a not a bad trade idea, but personally I would prefer to wait for today to pass, for that daily candle to close, and then trade fresh, because tomorrow the market is gonna come in, make a daily high, and then could potentially start flushing. So I am still bearish on UJ. I think it's giving me right now a lot of bearish signs, and there is nothing to stop price until this daily low. So I would expect the daily right now to expand towards this daily low. So if you're feeling a little bit more aggressive, you can even take a short today and then ride it towards this daily low. And then if this daily low keeps getting broken, then of course we're going to look for the weekly. So bearish bias so far on UJ. We did talk about a reversal, and right now I do see that order flow is a little bit more confirmed. So let's see if shorts will continue getting offered. And then within the other JPYs, I think right now it's not a good time to be trading them because EU is rocketing, UJ is flushing, so EJ and GJ are gonna be choppy. It's not a good time right now. You can see, like, not really. I would say it looks more like UJ than it looks like EU. Yeah, you're still gonna have that hourly bearish imbalance, but I want you to pay attention to what kind of liquidity is being taken right now. We're taking daily liquidity, right? So you're gonna look for a daily / 4 hourly rebalance, which is all right. So if you're looking to trade EJ, I would say shorts, but again, like it's tapping into also a very strong area to the left. Did it actually tap into this guy here? Okay, not yet. So it's tapping still into like this very big sell to buy. I think there is a lot of support that could kick in still. So be careful shorting the JPYs, right? You can see GJ, we have this weekly bullish imbalance, right? Tapped. Perfect. This one is actually good for longs because you can see on the daily time frame, we still don't have anything bearish on the daily, which is great. So right now, if the 4 hourly time frame actually starts turning bullish, that will be amazing. So let's see how this 4 hourly imbalance gets created. And in this case on GJ, I would actually wait for this 4 hourly imbalance to fail and for us to get a new bullish 4 hourly imbalance so I can go long. Why? Because I'm trading from a weekly zone together with taking this massive daily liquidity as well. All right, so I want to trade against from it, away from it. Okay, so that is my outlook on GJ. EJ, I think EJ is not tradable right now. GJ is tapping into a weekly bullish imbalance, which is a very good POI to potentially go long from. All you have to do right now is just wait to see how these 4 hourly bearish imbalance is going to get created, tapped, react, and then if we break the reaction with a new 4 hourly bullish imbalance, that's going to be great. Indices, I don't trade indices right now because they are kind of tricky, right? For indices, you really have to be on the 1 minute time frame and kind of scalp the market. It keeps pushing above all-time highs, pushing above all-time high, pushing above all-time high, and it's kind of giving some quick pullbacks, but nothing really consistent. So this week, I'm pretty much skipping because you can see we're in a week 3, candle 3 of a potential new weekly imbalance to be created. So I think next week could be interested on the indices. Right now, again, what we're getting very recently is this very nice 4 hourly bearish imbalance, right? So if you want to follow the most recent momentum, you can potentially then trade from that 4 hourly zone towards that 4 hourly low, and then all the way lower. Something that could potentially cause price to react is this 4 hourly zone. So I would imagine something like that could happen on the short term, but again, I'm not trading indices right now, especially not on the short term. So yeah, you can see then NASDAQ, we thought, okay, the market is tapping into a daily zone, but it has a weekly below it. So it's either going to go up from the 4H or it's going to fail the 4H and going to come into the weekly. So again, that 4 hourly time frame actually failed. Well, it didn't fail because it actually took out the high of that 4 hourly bullish imbalance, right? So tapped in, took out the high, but then it failed to follow through and continue going higher. And right now it's flipping lower, tapping into the weekly imbalance just right now. So this, once again, to me, it's about to get potentially bullish, but we have to wait. We have to wait because right now the 4 hourly time frame is coming in with massive bearish pressure. So this is where you're going to get that 50-50 zone. 4 hourly and daily are going to be bearish, but then weekly is bullish. So you have to wait again for everything to fail and for the market to start building that bullish order flow when you're actually going to get the high probability setup. So for me, indices, be patient. This week, they're not the best. And I would say for NASDAQ, just give it some time right now. Don't go short because we're tapping into weekly, but also don't go long because it's not ready. I would wait for tomorrow because tomorrow we have some very important news. And yeah, look at US 30, like this one reacted like a month or two later. Just right now, it started rocketing all of a sudden to all-time highs. And it's rocketing like big time. After it chopped for such a long time, while, for example, NASDAQ was making a beautiful uptrend and SPX was making a beautiful uptrend, this one finally decided to move. To me, this one is also not tradable right now because it's just expanding. Again, this is based on my strategy and the way I trade. Maybe some of you are like trend followers, setting buy stops above highs. That's perfectly fine. But for me right now, all-time highs, not tradable. I would look for a weekly imbalance or for a daily imbalance to get created and then to potentially trade from something that is on a higher time frame. Right now, we don't have it. And yeah, pretty much full circle back. DXY taking a lot of liquidity. I think the overall liquidity objective for that week is completed. And right now, when that is completed, you really have to step aside and start observing a little bit. Like, look at this massive hourly candle closing below these weekly lows, all right? Where are we going to create a hourly bearish imbalance right now? Are we going to create a very strong daily closure? Are we tomorrow then going to continue going lower? Those are things that we just have to potentially wait for and not really try to forecast them from now on, okay? EU as well, taking a daily high to the left, taking this daily high, it's potentially will like to maybe pull back on the daily, maybe make a daily imbalance, then trade from that daily imbalance, okay? Work with all the time frames that you have. GU also, it's very massively pushing up, so don't try to chase the market. Don't buy high. Wait for the market to pull back to make you an area of interest. Wait for that area of interest to tap, wait for your entry, and that's when you're going to get the highest probability setups. AU looks like that long is not going to be successful. So if this one is going to get long, as I told you, I'm waiting for signs for that to get long. NZUSD actually looks a little bit better for longs. So let's see how this fall imbalance is going to get created, tapped, and whether we're going to get a nice reaction. Gold, I would wait for today to pass, pull back into daily, and then continuation. JPY is very 50-50. I would definitely give them some more time as well. GJ is tapping into a weekly bullish imbalance, which is quite interesting. UJ doesn't really have it. On UJ, I think it could go a little bit lower. So very 50-50. Very 50-50. I'm not 100% sure. And if I'm not 100% sure, I don't trade. And pretty much that's it. Indices as well, not very, 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 very nice. So to me, today is a skip. I'm going to show up tomorrow, evaluate what is happening in the market. We can be looking, because right now we can be looking for reversals. We can be looking for continuations. And the only way to know is to pretty much wait and flow with the market. Let me know what kind of trades you took so far. Let me know how you are developing with your week. Let me know what is your favorite setup that you're looking right now. Any questions, comment on the video, and I wish you a successful week ahead.